Hey, Pathfinders, how's it going? What is going on? It's your girl, Deborah the Queen. Look, here's another episode of Light the Path podcast. You're absolutely going to love this conversation because we have a returning guest. She ain't no stranger here. You already know that when you hear this name, that she adds value to the conversation, okay? But look, make sure that you are subscribed and that you're following on all social media platforms. Listen, this is a returning guest. If you've been here for a while, you already know what it is. From the first time hearing her, you're in for something powerful. This is my peeps. This is my sister friend. Look, LaToya Frazier is a business strategist, 4-time published author and podcast host who helps inspire entrepreneurs turn their ideas into profitable programs. Say that 3 times twice. With over 20 years of corporate experience and a strong foundation in project management and digital marketing, she brings both structure and strategy to building an online business. As the founder of Frazier Business Solutions, LaToya is known for helping women move from overwhelm to execution with clarity, confidence, and accountability. Now, pause right there. If that's not you, that's somebody that you love, go ahead and send this episode to them now before we even get started. Her work has helped countless entrepreneurs launch signature offers that actually produce results. We all want results, right? That's why you're here. She's been featured in Vogue magazine, Vogue, Dallas magazine, Influential Women, and she's currently living her best, all caps, life as a digital nomad. My friend, my sister friend, you can catch her at TSA going through, what's the quick pay? Go through, that's where she at, okay? Listen, y'all help me welcome back LaToya to Light the Path podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, she over there into international flights. What is pre-check? That's it.
Yes, girl, yes.
The word was eluded. Catch her in pre-check, okay?
I love it.
How are you?
I am doing well, Queen. How are you?
I am doing very well. This is so good. We already had an episode, y'all, so we just letting y'all in on
episode before the episode.
We already had our first episode together, catching up, but now we letting y'all in on this one because the title of this one, You're Not Stuck, You're Not Executed. And LaToya is the perfect, if there's anybody else, I recommend and highly recommend LaToya for this. The last time you were here, LaToya, you shared powerful insights around business and execution. Since then, what has shifted the most for you personally and professionally?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. So what has shifted for me personally and professionally? Well, what I would like to do is kind of start off by giving your audience a little background information about me. So you did a great job in the beginning. I wanted to add just a little bit to that so they kind of understand what that means when we talk about executing. So from a professional perspective, my background is in project management, right? So when it comes to project management, there's each phase of a project. And I like to think of myself as an implementer, right? Because you have to implement whatever project it is that you're working on. So when it comes to business inside of execution piece is the implementation. So from a personal perspective, I've been on a self-care journey. And what that means for me is, in layman terms, I'll give you guys the little spill on that. Queen's familiar with this, but I started traveling full-time in 2023 when I became an empty nester. So long story short, I dropped my youngest son off at college on a Friday, got him situated in the dorm, and I was on the plane the next Wednesday on the first thing smoking out of Dallas. And I have been traveling ever since. So the first year, well, when I first started, the goal was to only be 6 to 12 months. And it's been several years now, and I'm still loving it. So in the beginning, it was about the self-care journey and getting to know myself and, what is it that the things that I wanted to do what made me happy, visiting some places that I had on, what we call bucket list. The second year turned into more the business professional side, although I was still working because I have an online business. So I'm still working, although I was traveling as a digital nomad. Although I'm traveling as a digital nomad, I'm still working, running my business, helping my clients. The second year was more based on business, trips, collaboration, new partnerships, and things of that nature. So personally, it just started out, just, hey, I'm out here living my best life. No strings attached. I could go anywhere, visit friends, family, whenever I wanted to, right? And then the second year turned into more strategic from a business perspective.
Very good. Very good. You help women go from overwhelm to execution. That's hard. Where do you see most people get stuck right now when it comes to actually launching their ideas? Where do we get caught up?
Oh, wow. So we'll go back to the execution piece, because if you think about it, many of us have so many ideas in our, right? Whether it's a hobby that you want to start, whether it's a business you want to start, whether it's a project around the house that you want to start. And we have all these ideas in our head of doing that thing, but it's the actual physical execution of it all. One of my friends was on a podcast the other day. She's a podcast host, and she was saying some of the things that she is doing now in her late 50s, she's been thinking about for 25 years. And she says, I have all these boards and all these notes and, all these things that I had written out that I wanted to do 25 years ago. And she says, I'm actually doing them now. And she says, obviously it wasn't the time, but now she has the proper people and team in place, which I'm one of them, to help her execute, right? So it's about what are those things that you want to do, the resources to help you get there, because when we talk about resources, we talking about time, we talking about money, because you have to have, a budget to do most things, even if it's something, a personal project, like we talked about, maybe you want to renovate your kitchen or your bathroom. There's resources that you need for that, right? So thinking about what are the things that you need in place to help you become unstuck and moving forward from an implementation perspective.
That's very good. We get caught off guard. And I love that you brought that up, that she had things already. That's what the Lord had to tell me. And therefore, you don't need most stuff to do.
Yes.
Go do what I already
That part. He was like, I'm giving you the things to do. You got to do those before you could go do some other things.
Yes. So that's why we definitely need your help with this, LaToya, to get these from our notebooks, all these journals we got. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. And you give a good point. It's the timing and the resources that we definitely need to be able to move things on, because a lot of you can't just have free resources forever.
No, you know what? And I tell people all the time, and one of the processes that I do with my clients is an information dump. And I'm like, because we can vomit at the mouth because we're so excited about that thing that we want to do. I know I am about my business. I love my business. I love what I do. I love my clients. So I could talk about it all day long.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I'm working with someone, I need to know those things that are in your head that excites you, that lights your eyes up, that elevates your voice. I need to do an information dump. Let me get those things out of your head so that I can put my strategy brain to it. Okay, so you have all these ideas. Now let me organize it and strategize it so that we can implement it. Right. But if it's in your head and stuck in there, it's been stuck in there for 20 years and it's still in there. We got to get it out so we can get you moving forward.
Absolutely. With your corporate background and now you're a digital nomad. I love that name too. Digital nomad. How has your definition of success evolved over time?
You know what? That's a great question. At the end of the day, I personally feel success is synonymous, especially when it comes to individuality, right? Because everybody looks at success differently. From a corporate perspective, sometimes success is looked at by you climbing the corporate ladder, right? And over years. And success in a business, if, when you have your own business, can look a little bit different. It could be, it could be hitting a particular income goal, landing a particular client. At the end of the day, are you happy with what you're doing? And that could be from a corporate perspective or, from an entrepreneur perspective, because there's so many things. I mean, there's happiness and there's disappointment in corporate. There's happiness and there's disappointment, from an entrepreneur perspective. But when you think about success, for me, it's based on, if I'm happy. Happy is success for me, because I love my corporate job. And a lot of people, when they go into entrepreneurship, sometimes it's because of a layoff or something like that. I didn't have any of that. And I was with my last employer for 17 years. So being able to transition from that space and still find happiness it's a dream for a lot of people, because sometimes you're so stressed out. And you're thinking, okay, I'm stressed out because of the day-to-day demands. You're going to have day-to-day demands, whether you're in a corporate space or you're in an entrepreneur space. So it's a mindset. So whether you have that right mindset in corporate or in a digital nomad or entrepreneurial space, what does happiness look like and feel like to you?
That's very good. I'm glad that you said that, because it is all a personal mindset. It starts there, because entrepreneurship, I'm going to tell you, it's not.
I know,
It's not for the weak now. You
see
LaToya going on trip. There's something behind that too, right? And so I love how you were saying the success can also look like reaching a income goal or landing a client, because those are the successes on that side of the entrepreneur side. But yeah, don't be over here looking at entrepreneurship like, ooh, that's so sexy. Sometimes it's messy. It's have you stressed out, have your nerves. So I like that you give the total gamut of it. Like, entrepreneurship has its pros and cons. So
it really does.
People have to understand that when they're just like, I'm about to lead these folks. Okay, go slow now. Go slow.
Right. Be careful what you ask for, right?
Yes. Yes. A lot of people have ideas, but not all of them become profitable programs, right? How do you help women take the next step from an idea to actually generate income?
So it really depends on what their goals are, right? In terms of generating an income, starting a business, because not all businesses that start are profitable, right? They're not profitable. And one of the things that I like to start with, one, is first just understanding, what your goals are for your business, right? Coaching and mentorship, because that was one of the things that I did later on in my business, because I'm thinking, okay, I can do this. I can't afford, a coach or, a business consultant at the time. But once I actually did, I was like, well, I can't afford not to, right? Because at the end of the day, there's someone out there that has more experience than you. And when I say a coach or consulting, I'm not talking about in generalities, right? Not in just general. You're wanting, and this is just my opinion, you want to find someone that's in that same space that you're in and that you're trying to get to, right? Because they're going to have a different perspective. They are going to be able to shorten your learning curve based on their experience. So you want to take a look at several things: what your goals are in terms of your business, what problem that you're solving that's going to generate income, what's that need, and being able to sit down with someone like myself and, okay, let's map this out. And one of the first things that I always do, like you were just talking about free. A lot of people don't. I think I have more success with paid products than I do with free products, right? Every person is different. However, I always like to get people to getting money as quickly as possible, because if you can start seeing yourself making money once, you can do it over and over and over again. So let's see what you have. You may have a ton of projects that's in your head. Let's focus on maybe the top 3. What are the top 3? And they're going to be different income brackets, right? You may have a smaller product that may lead into, the next product that may lead into the third product. Or you may have a product that's just I'll say, for example, for a book. So as authors, we're both authors. And sometimes as authors, you're not going to get rich necessarily from the book, but the book can be the vehicle for other things. It could be a vehicle for paid speaking engagements. It could be a vehicle for a paid program that you have. So using the resources that you have to continue to build on those streams of income. So to answer your question, how do I get someone to the next step from an idea to actually generating income? You have to see what the goal is, and then what it is that they're offering. And then I can make recommendations on different ways to get them there. And again, we're going back to implementation. How are we going to implement? What are we implementing?
Very good, because this is going to take you action. It's going to get that next. And that's where people are hung up on the ideas, because we get so full of our ideas and we're chasing the freebies all around, and we're just spinning our wheels. The freebies only going to take you so long and so far, And I think that with anything, you have to be able to invest in yourself. You have to say, you know what, I'm going to pay for a coach, a mentor, or a program that is going to help me actually take the action. Instead of now you got another idea. You got
another idea. And let me add to this also. It also takes consistency. You can't build something and then it could be the greatest thing on earth, but you can't build it and just think somebody's gonna come buy it. You have to get it out there. So you have to think about what are some ways, we'll use a marketing approach. So you have to be consistent. You have to get that thing in front of people. You have to be visible. Now, I'm not one, there's different strokes for different folks. I'm not that coach say, you got to go live such and such times a day. You have to be on all these platforms. No, I mean, I've been there, done that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. And I can coach you to that. But that's not, I don't think everything is cookie cutter. I take a look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, and where your people are. You have to show up where your people are. Are your people on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Instagram? Are you looking more for a corporate, client or, audience? And so those are going to tell a lot of stories and help you, become profitable. I thought my audience was on Facebook, but they was on Instagram. So I'm over here. I'm like, okay, where'd that payment come from? It was somebody that had clicked on a link on Instagram. So you have to show up where your audience is showing up. You show up where your students or your people are going to be. And sometimes you have to test a couple of things to determine what that is. You may say, oh yeah, I have all these people on Facebook. Oh yeah, you have all those people on Facebook, but those aren't necessarily your buyers. Those might be your friends. Those might be your family. We're talking about a different audience, right? A different audience of buyers or consumers that want to consume what it is that you have to offer. So I wanted to add that to the profitable piece as well.
Come on, y'all see why LaToya is a returning guest. And see, this is the freebie for y'all. Now take this freebie and go ahead and buy product. It's time. This is if you've been looking for a sign, this is your sign to go ahead and take the next step to implementing your ideas. Yes. It's time. It's time. And I love that you don't use a cookie cutter method, because you're right. Everybody is not the same. It's not the same product. And that's the benefit of having you as a coach or having your services, LaToya, is because you do that personalization to make it go from idea to profitability. So I really appreciate that. This is my final question for the woman listening who wants to do more for her business but keeps hesitating. That's another thing. We get analysis paralysis. We want to get all the information. What is one decision she needs to make today to move forward?
The one decision that she needs to make today is that you have to decide that I'm going to move forward, right? And we can tell ourselves that. Let me use myself as an example. I can't talk about nobody but me. I know me as an implementer. I know if I don't tell anybody that I'm going to do something, they don't have to do it, right? Because nobody's going to hold me accountable. But once I tell somebody that I'm going to do something, and not just anybody, not just a friend or family member that's just going to say, okay, girl, you said you were going to do that thing, but you didn't do it. So I need somebody that's going to hold my feet to the fire. So for example, when I I was working with, actually, this person is one of my business partners now. I hired her because we had been in the same online space for years. And I had purchased some of her products. She had purchased some of mine. And, we were just showing up in the same spaces. So I was like, okay, I'm going to hire her as a coach because her background was in implementation as well, in a different space, but still implementation. So on the phone, I just told her, I said, listen, I said, I know what to do. I do it for my clients every day. I said, but I need somebody to hold me accountable, because when you're in business for yourself, sometimes you don't think about your own things that you're implementing because you're implementing things for your clients, right? So I know that if I don't tell anybody, oh yeah, I'm going to launch this new program, then nobody's going to hold me accountable. So I told her I was hiring her as a coach, and I need you to hold me accountable. Like I hold my clients accountable. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I need you to follow up on, I'm paying my money to this person. So of course I'm like, oh Lord, I got a call with so-and-so, next week. And I told her I was going to do X, Y, and Z. And I know she's going to ask me about it. So let me move forward on those goals that we talked about. So one, making a decision that you want to move forward, and then finding someone, whether it is a friend or a family member, someone that is going to hold you accountable. If not, then you need to find a business coach, right? That can hold you accountable. And it's not just the accountability of, I'm going to do something. It's action steps. Okay, you're going to do this. When are you going to do it by? So that's one of the first questions I always ask. Okay, so what's the priority on this? When are you going to do it by? Because I need to be able to follow up with you on that thing. And I need you to follow up with me on my thing, because I'm going to give you a date. And I have one of my accountability partners. She's very good on the financial piece. She's good on a lot of things, but she looks at her numbers every day. She can tell you what her numbers is. So I was like, I'm gonna be looking at them every day now. Sometimes I'd be, So she holds me accountable. What's your income goal for this week? What's your income goal for the month? What's your income goal for the quarter? She holds my feet to the fire when it comes to those things. And I need that, because I'm focused on other things. And sometimes we don't want to look at the numbers because they may not be what we want them to be, but you need those people in your life. And sometimes you need more than one accountability coach, because one may be good in one area and one, maybe not so good in that area. So I'm not going to ask Susie Joe to hold me accountable on my financial goals if Susie Joe not doing good financially in her business. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, make the decision that you're going to move forward and find somebody to help keep you accountable.
So very good. LaToya, where can people find you at?
Oh, great question. Well, I am
on connect.
Yes. So I am on social media. I'll give you my website first, because my website it links out to all of my social medias. So FrazierBusinessSolutions.com. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We'll put the information in the show notes, but they're a little different tags for each. So LaToya Online on Instagram, LaToya Frazier on LinkedIn, and I think it's just LaToya Frazier on Facebook. But FrazierBusinessSolutions.com.
Very well. Yes, and don't worry, everybody, you'll be able to find it right here down below in the description box. LaToya, thank you so much for your time and attention to this. I always have a good time catching up with you. We did this podcast in one day.
We did. So we can't let so much time pass in between before we get together, because we have that whole catch-up thing that we have to do before the real podcast starts.
Absolutely. Listen, Pathfinders, remember that sharing our experiences is not only empowering, it can help